Good morning, everybody. This is Anthoneil champagnie. This is my M.A.T. Those who don't know, it's called my alone time. Sometimes I do it on the treadmill. Today ain't cardio day, so I do it while I'm eating, so excuse me. This is the time I get to reflect on things that probably happened in the past, over the years, or recently, some things I just heard about lately. And sometimes I just want to bring it to attention. Somebody told me about some things, you know. So before I go off to work, you know, I'm sending out some emails. And I just want to say that I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to be here. You know, I don't take for granted what I have anymore. I start soaking about the things I don't have. I think about what I do have and the ability to do what I want freely, for now and forever, because it's those things that we don't think about that makes us so frustrated, because we don't get the things that we want. But look around, you have everything you need. The things that you want is just a matter of you just putting those things in perspective and going after them. You see, bodybuilding means, or even lifting weights, means certain people different things, you know. To me, I'm gonna be honest with you, come to a country from Jamaica, speaking another language was kind of difficult for some kids to understand how I spoke, you know, and they used to make fun of me. And I got teased a lot about everything, about my scrawny body and my big head. And I didn't like it so much. Always got into fights in school. My brother and I, God rest his soul, we used to fight a lot. My brother was my protector, you know. My brother helped me become a man, kind of, you know. And sometimes even to this day, it's been a while, but, you know, talking about him passing, it still hurts. You know, I don't know, like when it happened 6 years ago, I didn't know how to feel, you know. All I knew was that eventually, before he died, you know, I knew he went away and he got deported and things that happened. And they were supposed to, you know, get a lawyer, try to bring him back up to the States. And at that time I was training so hard and I wanted to do something with my life so I could help him, you know. And I even got a tattoo, if y'all don't know, my brother's initial on my chest. I remember when I got the tattoo, I think I was 21. He was still alive, he was still good. He was in Jamaica and he wasn't doing so well, but, you know, I did it. And then I found out they weren't trying to allow him back into the U.S. I said, all right, you know, I'm gonna use bodybuilding to bring him back here with me. And that's what I did. So I sacrificed a lot. You know, I knew that my family was going down to see him all the time. And they were constantly going there back and forth and visiting him. And I was like, no, if I visit him, that takes off time for me training and working out and trying to get him back up here. Maybe the money that I'm going to, you know, get in winning a show will help me speed up the process, and I could just pay for his visa or whatever it is, and then get him up here. And then my parents might be a little bit mad because they're very Christian and they want to do things the right way, but I would have paid for him to come up here, and they would be mad at me, but they would love to have their son back here. So I would train all the time and train and work hard and push myself so that, you know, I could have him back up here. But it didn't happen, you know. So I remember it was like around May 10th, and I got a phone call from my mom. Said, Anthoneil, you know, Jason's gone. And I said, well, but he didn't wait. You know, I was training this. It's gonna do the show. It's gonna turn pro and get this big contract and bring him back. Like I was gonna do it myself. Like I always put a lot of burden on myself because, you know, sometimes I put a lot of weight on. It's my fault sometimes because nobody has to put that stuff on yourself. Like you gotta be a real man about that stuff. You know, you gotta say to yourself, yo, if you're gonna do something, do it. Nobody's putting it on you. And sometimes I put a lot of weight on my shoulder that sometimes I don't really need, you know. So, but that was my brother and he's my blood and I'll do anything for him to see him again. So at that time, you know, they called me and they said that he died. You know, I bought a plane ticket last minute, flew down there, and everybody was like, you know, everybody was there, and we went to see him, and he said, wait, you know, I was the last person coming from the airport. My uncle was driving fast, going to, I don't know if, you know, Jamaicans out there, you know, he got buried in Dovecot. It's a very tough neighborhood. You know, we always grew up in tough neighborhoods, whether it was in Jamaica or in New York. It doesn't matter. Champagnes are a bunch of tough people, you know. All of the Champagnes are tough guys and women. And I went down there, opened the casket, I looked at him, and I couldn't shed a tear, you guys. I couldn't shed not one tear, and I'm looking at my brother in the casket. Be grateful that you have your siblings, because one day they're gonna be gone, and you're gonna be like, yo, I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? You argue with them now, make up the next day, or make up that same day. Find a way to talk it out. You know, I've never been. I don't say I was the best brother in the world, but I try my best. You know, and that's all. God knows that I'm trying. So I went down there and I saw him in the casket, and it was like, you know, I couldn't shed a tear. Everybody was crying around me, father, mother, sister, brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts. And I couldn't. I was like, yeah, that's the way to be strong, Anthoneil. That's the way to be strong. It's like, it's not me being strong. It's just I don't have any tears yet. So, I don't know. So while we was down there, and I guess we all decided instead of going back to the house and mourning him, I know my brother loved parties a lot. We went out to a club and we danced and we had fun and we laughed because he was always joking around. Jason was always joking around, making jokes, making all of us laugh. And he loved music. His passion was music. So we went and we did something that we knew he would do if he was alive. We would be going to a club somewhere, partying, dancing to reggae music. He was a good dancer. And we would have done that. So that's what we did. We celebrated that he was gone, but at the same time, this is what he wanted us to do. So I remember coming back to New York, he wanted us to do. So I remember coming back to New York and training, and I was like, man, what I'm gonna do now? You know, the whole purpose was gone, but I still have this journey, so I got to continue anyway, you know. And but then I got real down on myself and still did what I had to do. And at that time, I think it was my off season. I was training, but it wasn't as hard. And then I remember after, I think it was Nationals in November, I came home and this is from May to November, December, nothing happened. I remember now going back into his all the things that he had, his archive, all the things he left for me. You know, since I'm his younger brother, you know, I got all his comic books, his collection of cards and everything. And I remember going through his letter, this is around like December, his letters. And that was the time when I finally broke down, because I remember even before that we had a little thing for him in like the summertime, and I put it together, and everybody was like, the only person who could talk right now was me. And I went up on the stage and I talked, and it was like, yo, Anthoneil, thank you for being strong, you know, while your family's weak. And I was like, all right, you know, this is what we have to do. We gotta do this. And then we left, and we went back to living our lives. And after I was reading all the things that he left behind, I remember reading one of his letters, and I know that that Jason loved his fishes. I remember one letter he wrote to me. He's like, yo, Anthoneil, take care of my fishes. And I was like, fish, sorry. Fish. And I was like, take care of your fish? What are you talking about, man? You know, this is when they were sending him back to sending him to jail to do some time or whatever. You know, because the mistakes he made and or whatever it is. And I was like, I asked my mom, what are you talking about? She says, yo, your son, he's not coming home. So I'm reading this letter because I know that at time Jason would never give his fish up for anything, even for, like, this guy loved the animals. Now when I was reading that letter, that's when everything hit me. While everybody was a little bit more calm, this is in December, that's when I broke down. I went into a real turmoil. I flipped out. I just lost every will in me, and everything that was supposed to come out then at the funeral came out now. And sometimes I think about that. I'm like, yo, it was supposed to happen that way, because who would be able to talk for our family at that time? If everybody else is crying, it was me. And now that I'm broken down at that time, it was more of a, it was good, because now the trade-off is now somebody has to help me come up and help me get myself together and realize that, you know, he's gonna live through me. And it took a lot of my mom and my sisters to come and console me. It really was bad. At one point, I just couldn't do it no more. And my little sister really thought that something's gonna happen to me. She called the ambulance to come and get me. You know, so you lose a sibling, man. I gotta really think about what life giving you, and that's what makes me reflect today. Like everything I have today and everything I'm want to get, is I'm gonna go for it, because I don't have the luxury I used to have, and nor do I want to sit back anymore and not get the things that I want out of life. You know, God has given me more than 1, 2, 3. He's given all of us chances. It's just that we don't see those things, and you have to start to wake up, guys. Wake up and start to realize that the things that you want are right there in front of you. You just have to wake up and go for it. You know, it's going to take some time, but as long as you keep moving, it will happen. So, you know, he was like, well, this is the things I'm going to do. You know, a lot of people don't know that I never wanted to work out. The person that made me work out was my brother. I was never interested in training or working out at all. You know, he was come home, bring those sand weights. I don't know if y'all guys remember the little gray sand weights. If you broke it, the sand would fall out of it. It won't be 30 pounds. It'll be 24.5 pounds and whatever it is. We worked out in our bedroom. My brother and I used to work out with with sand weights. We used to do presses. We used to do everything in the house, the room. We'll lock the doors, close the windows, turn on the heater, and work out in a sauna of sweat, drenched tears, man. I remember having fun just working out. Working out was fun. It's fun to me. So I enjoyed every minute of it. And he used to be like, come on, Anthony, let's go bench press. Let's go. We used to put 2 chairs together. Yo, real old school, man. We put 2 chairs together, lay across it, half our back is off the chair, and we're doing bench presses with a pipe we found in the backyard with the 2 sand weights, and try to make sure it don't fall off. And we benching and we benching and we benching. You know, we do squats. All we had was like 100 pounds. So we'll do squats with 100 pounds in our back, and then we'll do pull-ups by the door, where you can put your fingertips on top of that and do pull-ups and see who can stay up there the longest with our fingertips, man. Doing pull-ups with our fingertips. I guess that's why we got these strong-ass forearms, you know, genetics, whatever it is. But you know, keep in mind, man, it's like life is a gift. Yesterday was the past. Today is a present, because we're given the time, and we're given this time that we can do things for ourselves. So it's a present. So appreciate what you have. And I'm starting to realize a lot of that is like, I'm starting to appreciate the things I have right here in front of me. You know, the little things that matter the most, and all the big things that's even better. So, you know, that's how working out started for me. It started my brother pushing me into it. Never knew I wanted to do it, but now it's like I can't stop. I love it. You know, sad, mad, happy, glad, doesn't matter. I'm gonna work out regardless. You know, and now that I'm going through all these transformations, like I'm always gonna go back to it. No matter how many times I tell myself I'm gonna back off from bodybuilding, I'm gonna back off from training, I never do, because I always end up back at it. Just because I get a little down on myself because of my problem. Now I'm feel like, yeah, I'm gonna get back into it again, and I'm gonna train real hard, you know. But I don't know what the future holds. All I know is I'm having fun again, doing what I used to love to do, and it's because